Our speaker this morning is Ruthanne Sandner. Ruthanne is a four-year boarding student originally from Illinois. She currently lives in St. Augustine, Florida. She is a member of the varsity field hockey and fencing teams and is a Classics Fellow. She's a two-year prefect in Robin's house, and she's the proud roommate of Lily and Ruthanne.
Good morning, everyone. Before I begin, I'd like to mention two things. One, this talk covers some difficult topics. So if following this you need support, please contact the Counseling or Wellness Center. Secondly, I just want to express how grateful I am to be standing here in front of you all to give my chapel talk this year. Most of you know me as the Notre Dame fanatic or the girl in green, but there is one thing you might not know. I have a hidden disability. One that is part of my everyday life, one that I can't avoid, and one that can kill me in 15 seconds. So while we as a community talk about being inclusive of everyone, the big question is, how easy do we make it for those to be included? Inclusiveness. Hill defines inclusiveness on their website as the following, quote, "We acknowledge and celebrate diversity, and we work diligently to make everyone feel truly included, safe, and welcome, regardless of race, ethnicity, gender, sexual orientation, socioeconomic status, religion, or ability. Every member of our school should feel respected and loved for their unique identities that make our community strong," end quote. That's a pretty adequate definition. However, my definition and experience is very different, and I want to share it today in hopes that it could change one of your days here at Hill. Why and when do we need to be inclusive? Is it for anyone who is not able to partake in something? Or is it to make sure that everyone feels like a valued and cherished member of our Hill community? Is it to make sure that everyone here knows that they are worthy and seen? Sadly, while I have cherished my time here at Hill, I haven't been able to enjoy it as much as I had hoped, because even though I've been proactive to make sure I was included, and Hill did make some modifications, I have not always been included or seen. Many of you may also see me as shy or introverted, and I honestly am, which makes some people hesitant to approach me. But in truth, I am often just preoccupied, on high alert, circumventing all the possible dangers around me each and every day. To be included at Hill or anywhere, I have to plan ahead, assess the constantly changing situations, and educate those around me repeatedly. Most of you at some point have asked me why I carry a purse around campus. I've even had faculty members and their kids ask me why I just can't leave it in my room. I don't need it. That purse I carry holds my identification, Benadryl, inhaler, and my EpiPens. Nothing more. Which then leads to this question: when am I on alert? And the answer is everywhere. I'm especially alert in the dining hall, but surprisingly, I have also had to be alert in Latin, the science lab, dorm cup, field hockey games and tailgates, and just about every Hill weekend activity. Planning ahead and being self-reliant can create an easy solution when inclusiveness is forgotten. However, even when I remind others to be on alert and inclusive when planning activities such as the dorm cup, my vote as a committee member for a free, safe, inclusive list of games was quickly forgotten. But somehow Hill is still inclusive. Is it? Are we an inclusive community? I have a deathly food allergy, and I'm not the only Hill student with a food allergy. As of this year, there are 147 students with a documented allergy or dietary restriction. We also have faculty members and staff with food allergies. In fact, there are over 15 million Americans alone with food allergies. Are they all to the severity of mine? No. Like anything else, they are all different. Like any one of us, allergies have different severities. For example, some people need crutches, braces, glasses, or wheelchairs. Some people need more than one. Food allergies work that way too. They can be mild, causing hives or indigestion, or so severe that mere skin contact or particles in the air can send someone to the ER and moments away from death. Every day, before every meal, I wonder if today will be my last. So I make sure to appreciate every opportunity and aspect of my day, because every day is a gift. I love my life, and I cherish all the places I have been and lived. I've actually lived in 4 out of the 5 regions in the US and safely navigated eating out in 5 different countries. I've absorbed countless new ways to cook and enjoy food by embracing other cultures. After knocking on death's door 3 times, I know that something has to change about how I help Hill's culture to be truly inclusive. And I would first like to do that by explaining food allergies. Mayo Clinic defines an allergic reaction as when, quote, your immune system produces substances known as antibodies. When you have allergies, your immune system makes antibodies that identify a particular allergen, for me, eggs, as harmful, even though it isn't. The severity of allergies varies from person to person and can range from minor irritation to anaphylaxis, a potentially life-threatening emergency, end quote. You may be wondering how food allergies are labeled as a disability. Let me explain. A person with a disability is someone who has a physical or mental impairment that seriously limits one or more major life activities, like eating, according to the ADA. Food allergies impact my ability to eat, go out, date, participate in activities, to get vaccines, etc. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it doesn't classify as a disability. Now, I'm going to take a gander and ask, when I mention food allergies, who immediately thought of someone with a gluten intolerance or celiac disease? I'd like to clarify something. Gluten is not an allergy. Wheat is. Why? Because if someone with a gluten intolerance has something with gluten, one of the worst things that can happen to them is a stomach ache and or vomiting. If someone with a food allergy eats that item, the worst is death. The difference between my disability and every other one is that in order to get accommodations, I have to trust someone else to handle my meal without my constant watch. Every day, I put my life in other people's hands. They could be friends, family, staff, or strangers, but it is challenging for me to do, especially when human error can occur. 6 months ago, I was sitting in the dining hall, like every other day, when my mouth and throat started to itch and tingle, and the thousands of questions raced in my head. What did I eat? What did I touch? What is different? What if I'm overthinking this? What level of danger could I be in? I have to solve all these questions in seconds and make a life-changing decision to wait or act immediately. And while my body is starting to defend itself and shut down, no one sitting next to me can even tell that this is happening. So, November 11th, I decided to act immediately, and that decision saved my life. 10 minutes into lunch, I ran out of the dining hall to the wellness center to get an EpiPen administered, into an ambulance, and to the ER 15 minutes later. And during that time in the ambulance, 1,000 more questions clouded my panic state and racing heart, which was still beating thanks to the Hill nursing staff. Am I going to be able to watch my field hockey game? Am I going to be okay? Did I act fast enough? Will I be able to graduate? Who's going to tell my roommate, friends, and family if something bad happens? I wanted to be a part of everything at Hill, but most of the time, the places I could go to be included have food around that 95% of the time I can't have. And let me get this straight. It's not because I can't call ahead, bring my own food, pack extra Benadryl or epinephrine, which is an EpiPen, or promise myself I won't touch anything or anyone. I could. But oftentimes those options are not enough to allow me to be safely included at a birthday party, an off-campus event, and often many Hill traditions. I have never had Mr. Lehman's famous crepes. I've spent many field hockey team tailgates eating my own granola bars, if I remember to bring them, or 4-hour sun-melted pack-out because I played both JV and varsity. I've eaten chicken and potatoes here at Hill for at least 2 meals a day for 3 years, listening to all of you complain about your pizza or pasta or how the chicken fingers aren't shaped right. My grandmother spent my first 2 years and hundreds of dollars shipping me safe dessert or breakfast muffins before the new dining hall was finished and the staff was able to try a few of my egg-free recipes to house in the freezer. I even brought my own cupcake and frosting to participate in a Hill Run cake decorating activity last year. Hill has many opportunities, and I am proactive to make sure I am included and safe, but oftentimes I'm still overlooked or left out because it's easier than trying to include me. Being inclusive doesn't just mean tolerating another's differences. It means you are proactive in accepting others who are different. It means you listen, and it means you react to include them. I said earlier that food allergies are a hidden disability, but mine is more than a disability. My food allergy can kill me. And while many do not understand that, others, even here at Hill, think it's a joke. Quote, "I'll give you an egg if you don't stop," end quote. Yep, does that sound inclusive? But I got a lot of laughs, and it went unpunished here. In fact, it's actually a death threat, and it's happened to me more than once in my life. Well, I know it's ignorance, and it doesn't hurt my feelings. It instills fear, and only encourages me to remain introverted rather than outgoing. Because if I go unnoticed, then I might be more safe and won't die because someone might think it's funny to test my food allergy. But I already know what would happen. In fact, I know exactly how I would die because I've almost 3 times in my life, with November 11th, 2021 being the most recent. My life has been saved by mere seconds, 3 times. But I remember exactly how it felt as I knew I was taking my last breath. How I couldn't even use my voice to tell my parents I loved them one last time. Fearing that I'd never graduate my final year of Hill. Or how I was scared because my entire throat and mouth had swelled shut. I remember what it feels like to be given egg on accident. And it's not funny. My definition of inclusiveness means including everyone for all of their differences, those chosen and those they are born with. But it also means others taking responsibility to make it possible for others to be included, not just allowing it or silently accepting it. There are several Hill staff, students, and teachers that know the true meaning of inclusiveness and who have included me even when I didn't have the energy to convince them to do so. But my family and others inspire me to champion more ways for other people to be inclusive, not just for myself, but for anyone with a food allergy. Every time I teach someone about allergies, respond kindly to someone who makes the extra effort with my food, plan a food-related activity with my dorm or team, I approach it using my definition of inclusiveness, with a big dose of empathy. When I arrived at Hill 4 years ago, I chose to approach my hidden disability and help others here to be more included by doing it my way, quietly and behind the scenes. But today, I am taking my one very uncomfortable chance to say it proudly and loudly. Don't just say you are inclusive. Create inclusiveness with empathy. And while there are 100 ways we can do that, I would like to give you a few suggestions for my 147 fellow food impaired Hill family members to feel included. Number 1, organize a chance for you to learn more about your fellow dorm, team, or advisory, so you can better understand food allergies and allergic reactions. Number 2, encourage and demand non-food related activities or safe pre-planned food options so all Hill family members can partake in Hill family traditions. Number 3, ask if it's okay to finish your breakfast/meal in the classroom and clean up your desk after if you do eat in an area another student thought would be food-free. Number 4, and perhaps the most important one, don't throw food. There are 147 members of your Hill family who do not deserve to have your food fun turned into a weapon. If anyone would like to learn more about food allergies, I encourage you to join me for a meal. I'll be the girl wearing something green with a plate of chicken and potatoes. Thank you.